it's like I'm gonna try to lay something down for the streets, you know what I'm saying? For all them knuckleheads, you know what I mean?
What's that out in the dark?
Or PTV.
DJ Mad Butcher, thank you very much for sitting down with me today and adding your voice to the William&Mary Hip Hop Collection. It's a pleasure to speak with you. So, just to get things started, will you please just introduce yourself?
Well, I got to start off by saying it's an honor to even, you know what I'm saying, be chosen or called for this and for the Hip Hop Collection of Virginia. You'd like to, what was your question as far as?
Just introduce yourself. You know, name, rank, serial number, however you wanna introduce yourself to everybody, either watching or listening.
Alright, well, my name is, some people call me the legendary DJ Mad Butcher, aka Mr. B, aka back in the day, Cool B, going back, Father Ticklezord. Pretty much been in this thing since '79.
'79, okay.
I was pretty much birthed into it. We can talk about that a little bit more. And by '81 or so, I came back to Virginia. About '80, '81, you know what I'm saying? And I learned originally hip hop. My first element was, you know, popping and stuff. That was back in, like I said, '79. That was in Oxford, North Carolina. So when we moved back to Virginia, like I said, I think about '80, '81. A lot of people didn't know what it was. I'm from South Central Virginia. It's called Lynchburg, Virginia, near Roanoke. I think Virginia Tech down there. Salem. Yeah, it was Blacksburg down in that region. I'm known all up through that Blue Ridge. That's called South Central Virginia, the Blue Ridge region. A lot of people didn't know what it was at that time until Michael Jackson came out. I think it was like '83 when they called it the Moonwalk.
Yeah. Okay. So we're talking the Motown 25.
Motown.
When he did it on TV, national TV, everyone was like, "What is that?"
Right. Back then, my teaching was called the Glide. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the Moonwalk was a little bit more different. You move like this when you did your thing. You know what I'm saying? So. I used to go around the community then when it was kind of exposed and try to teach, you know, a lot of the youth, you know, the difference. Even I was a youth too, but you know what I'm saying, other cats that was getting into it. By '84, I think '85, some people came to our city. I'm from a place called Lynchburg, the home of Liberty University, one of the largest Christian schools in the world. It was a crew called IBM. They was from DC. They called it International Break Machines. I don't know if y'all ever heard of them. For those who have, they was real big back in the '80s. We became like a splinter sect of them. And something happened with the main guy. Like I said, I was a little younger. I was like one of the youngest cats in the crew. Everybody else like 17, 18, 20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like at this time 12, 13.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I've been on the streets since I was like 11, you know what I mean? When I say on the streets, you know, you have to find ways to survive and eat because, you know, you may not have parents at home, stuff like that for those who out there, you know, in that type of mentality state. So about, I said 85, they came into town, I kind of got with them. Like I said, something happened with the, I guess, the council up in DC, so dude broke off. We was called the Wild Style Crew. And we used to go around, well, I couldn't go all the places because, like I said, I was kind of young, but I did go to a couple of the battles out of town and stuff, and we battled different people around in different cities. I think they did some stuff maybe up in Richmond, Petersburg area possibly. I know they did some stuff like we did sketch called the Roanoke City Breakers at that time. They came around. And then I would say around that same time, a part of my crew member, his name was Earl B. He was a DJ of the crew, but also a breaker. and he used to scratch and stuff on this old turntable. I had one at home too, and I want to take and donate to y'all with the 8-track on it. And that's what I started off with, scratching with, you know, watching him. I tried to get him to show me some stuff, but he never had time. He was always into the ladies.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of cats was in it, you know, for different reasons, you know what I mean, even to this day, you know.
Right.
So, as well as we got into like, let me see where we at now. About 89, 88, I was one of the first ones to make a rap video with my man MC Mac Daddy. It was called Cool B and DJ Cool B and MC Mac Daddy. Certified Dope. I got that on YouTube for those who want to check it out. You know what I mean? Under the MB, that's the number for the number 3 GEE. Or the Street Hype Entertainment TV page. So we did that. Then around 89, so where we at now? So around 90s or so, I was like, by now, one of the youngest cats really started booking gigs, like booking buildings and stuff, and hiring my other friends, you know what I mean? Pretty much DJ for me, you know, DJ for us or whatever, you know. And shoot, then I ended up, you know, crack was on the scene too. That was around 88, 89, 90. So the B-boy stuff was kind of fade out. Right. You know what I'm saying? It was done. So by 90, like I said, by 92, you know, they had the war, what was it, the war on drugs. It was serious. That's if you're in the hood, you know what I mean?
Right.
And now see, hip-hop was a way to escape for us at one time, you know what I mean, before this substance came into our community, you know what I mean, to where that became the escape. So, we looking at 92, you know, I had to make a decision to stay around the scene I was in, or try to, you know, further my education and what I love. And a lot of people that was around me wasn't into it like I was.
Right.
And it was getting, you know, like, just forget this stuff. I almost was there, but I ended up going to Dallas, Texas, to go to school at the Art Institute. And when I went to Dallas, it rebirthed me to the degree to where these cats were still breakdancing. And I'm like, wow. And then it seemed like they had just been kind of like introduced to the culture around 85, 86. It was little, you know what I'm saying? I come from what's called the first generation in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? So they came around, I guess that would be what, the second generation, or going into the third generation or whatever. So we had that down soft type of thing. It was different, but to see cats still preserving the art, oh man, I was like, yo, back practicing again.
Right.
And all that, and but I was doing all the elements. I always done all that, you know what I mean? So, as far as graffiti-wise, a lot of my first covers, I show, you know, their pencil and stuff, you know. A lot of my flyers, you know, was done with pencil. I never really did, you know what I'm saying, the spray.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, the tags and all that. I might did one or two, but it wasn't my thing 100%. My thing was always art. Pen and paper, black and white. So I say I went to school and that rebirthed me to where I learned a lot of different things in the South, being in there. And we was more on the West Coast vibe at the time.
Okay.
You looking at 93, 94. When I first went down there, a lot of cats didn't even know what a blunt was. You know what I mean? Until Chronic album came out with Snoop Dogg. So, that came on the scene, so I was already in it. Like I said, when I came back to the East, to visit or whatever, I ended up having my son, so then I made it into my mind that, you know, I gotta have a future for him. So I put out the first mixtapes on the streets in South Central Virginia in 93, I think it was, 94. At the time it was Ron G on the streets and DJ Clue. Clue! You know what I'm saying? In my personal opinion, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect to the brother. You know what I mean? But he's one of the ones kind of messed up the mixtape game. You know what I mean? Huh?
Well, how so?
Because originally when we made master mixtapes or mixtapes for the streets, it was mixed and blend. You know what I mean? You had the scratching and the cutting in it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We made them beats right.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now it's like just throwing one song and here come the next song and put the next one on. So now when we was on the streets and we trying to hustle our CD tapes or whatever, and CDs hadn't came out quite yet. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, I make them myself now. You know what I mean? Because you think you making a mix because how you arrange the music.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But that's not the art of true mixing or the art of turntablism. You know what I mean? Or being a true, it's the difference between a turntablist and a DJ. You know what I mean? So you had this DJ come out, Clue, you know what I'm saying? Pretty much just dropping on songs. You know what I mean? And a lot of us that's on the underground scene, you know, I was considered an underground dude by the 90s. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't really into a lot of the mainstream, you know, it's garbage. You know what I mean? No disrespect to a lot of it. Some of it's good, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I come from the root. So about 90, where we at now? We started getting into 90, so I was the first one to start putting cats on the mixtapes. Matter of fact, I got one here. I'll show you that. Got it in my goodie box. Give me a minute. Alright, this is the first one. It's the original joint right here.
Okay. Butcher Shop Records. Nice.
Yeah, it was called. I call myself Butcher Shop Chop Records. Postman Chop.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cause you had Butcher Shop Records already.
Okay.
From Butcher. I can't think of his name right now. From out of New York. From back in the 70s and 80s. He came over there.
Okay.
I can't think of it right now. But it's the very first one. And what I did, a lot of people in my area, and they say you couldn't do it because it was mainly, you know, Jerry Falwell. It was talking about it's more of a Christian town and so forth. So it can't be done here, and so you know a lot of negativity.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say. So there was a real push to what?
To
silence
change
any sort of hip hop culture in that area.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely hip hop, man. It was like demonic. I remember when I was young, being in a thing. I remember an older cat telling us, you know what I'm saying? I was like maybe. They said breaking days, 13 to 14, they had like a little day at the park. I remember cats talking about that was like demonic, satanic stuff they were doing. You telling a little kid this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never forget that, you know what I mean? So, yeah, we can definitely get into that. But, it was, like I said, I had this one come out, and I only did 15, this is like a 15-minute unit. You know what I mean? That I did. I'm doing that to the William&Mary hip hop collection. You know what I mean? I'll put that right there for now. And it kind of broke the ice, okay, for a lot of people, you know what I mean? For all them fears and scares, you know? So, then I came out with number 2, right here. It's just the Mad Butcher Hip Hop Master Mix.
That's nice. And then this is your artwork as well?
Well, this particular one right here was done by my man. He was my MC at the time. His name was Donald Prophet, we called him.
Okay.
Donald B. And he originally drew this and stuff. And of course, you know, I did the rest of the graphical work, you know, from the limited resources. So, came out with number 2. And that one, I put a couple of artists from the neighborhood on it.
Okay, yeah. So by volume 2, you're like, all right, throw some other people on it.
Yeah, you know, because my thing was another thing during the 90s, what they did in our particular region, they took off pretty much the urban black radio station, And so we didn't have any what's called cultural music for us, you know what I mean? So it was more like techno, you know, the top 100, you know what I'm saying, the Billboard stuff.
Yeah.
You feel me? And so it was starting to get, you know, anybody know about during that 90s era when, you know, Clearview and all them came through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Anybody that's up on that. So it changed that particular region. It was, my personal opinion, it caused some mind control.
Right. Yeah.
Because music, you know what I'm saying, and culture is very important. And so it wasn't until I think 2000 before we even got, or even it seemed like they allowed like a old school R&B classic soul radio station. You still ain't getting the new stuff, you feel me?
Yeah.
Unless you're dealing with the Billboard. Now, you know, of course, outside of that particular region, you know, you're getting all the newest, you know, heat and the newest flavor. You know, it was very interesting, you know, if he was really paying attention.
So, so would you like if you were gonna, you know, travel back to Dallas, travel outside of, you know, the Lynchburg, Roanoke area, would you like start to hear all this other stuff and be like, well, shit, there's all this other stuff out here that I can't get back in Lynchburg? Right.
So the objective then was, yo, we need to expose this.
Right.
You know, that was the reason for me putting the first mix. It was like a street radio.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Of some real stuff, not no watered down. You know what I'm saying? What they wanted us to hear. You feel what I'm saying? But because, you know, culture, you know, as far as hip hop concerned, our objective was to bring the noise. You know what I mean? Whatever came out, what was heat, it seemed like it moved you, got you going, but then, you know, doing that switch over, I would call it to a degree. It's also Ultra Mac, what's called MK Ultra. Are you familiar with that? MK Ultra program. That was around 90 something. And that switched a lot of things for us, you know what I mean? As far as even on the street level, musically and hip hop. And so then we starting to get like the Snoop Dogs and more the West Coast vibe, you know what I mean? The softer flavor didn't really start hitting until around late 90s, 2000s. Because I was in the soft and I used to tell cats, so a lot of cats used to run up on me and I used to tell them to get in contact with my man up here in Richmond, you know what I'm saying? To, you know what I'm saying, send their music to. My man RJ, are you familiar?
No, who's that? Yeah, tell me about RJ.
RJ, he one of the legends here, you know what I'm saying, here in Richmond. But if you really want to get oral history from a legend, you gotta go to my man Art. He had the record store off of Landry. What's that? Is that yeah, Landry? So I'm saying that right. Off of.
Is he Landry?
Is that the name of the street?
I don't know.
Going up 64 and going into Richmond.
Oh yeah. Laburnum. That's
Laburnum.
Right. Yeah. Record store.
Yeah, he was right in the hood, you know.
Okay, so so he's out on the east end of Richmond.
Yeah, so you know, he had his hands, you know, he knew like Mad Skills and all these other cats that came out. So,
we're not talking. Are we talking the phono booth?
That might have been it.
Okay.
No, it was the phono booth. That was the one downtown on Broad, wasn't it?
No, actually, where's the phono booth? Nah, I think phono booth was more north side. I think that's different.
Yeah, because you had a brother also downtown on Broad Street back in the day.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We talking 90s, you know, mid 90s or so.
Yeah.
He had a record store. He used to let us come in and we were able to listen to our records right there, you know what I mean? He had a little turntable in there. So I had to come up here to get my records, or I go to DC, you know what I'm saying? Especially when I was younger, like in the late 80s, 90s. Because it's always about having the music first.
Right.
You know. By, I say, what we looking at now. So by 99, but 2000, I came out with the first, 2004. Well, no, about 97. I had this one come out first. first. And Volume 3, look at my goodie box. Had Volume 3 come out.
Okay, nice.
It was like 97, 98, you know what I'm saying? I dropped this on the street, of course I had even more artists on this now. So by 96 or so, I might have had a squad with like 40, 50 MCs and DJs. I had, they used, you know, some say I had some of the first Wu-Tang Clan.
Right.
So, everybody came to my crib. You know, I don't care what hood you was from. If you was into music, you take, you know, if you're on the corner or whatever, you like to rap, you come to Butcher's house.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I used to take them off the street sometimes. They'll come knocking on my door early in the morning, and they might not leave out until, you know, late that evening. And a lot of them supposed to be on the corner selling drugs, but their mind was taken elsewhere.
Right.
Feel me? And I used to always, you know, drop jewels for cats, even back then. As far as, you know, don't feed into the negativity. But like I said, you know, I didn't really have my parents really raised me or nothing neither, you know what I'm saying? So I understood some of the cats' pain. So, you know, I let them release it through the hip hop. We had battles. You know what I mean? They used to want to use the mics. I'm like, no, you can't use the mics in my crib.
Right.
So I wanted them to learn how to amplify their voice and express themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let that stuff out.
Right,
you know?
right.
And that's what kind of training. A few cats left crying or whatever. It's cool. They toughen up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was like military training. You come and fit there with me because by then I had been doing it for so long. You know what I'm saying? I guess by then, you know, at least 20-some years now. You know?
Right.
So I was, you know, like a vet to a lot of them. So it's like a lot of the young cats that come through have rules. You know, they want to smoke dope or whatever. Now, you ain't old enough yet to be 18 or whatever.
Right.
They thought it was strange because everybody else who was in it to let them do it.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But I was trying to share teachings as well, you know what I mean? About the true culture of hip hop, because it ain't really about us, about this money, about the drug situation and the women. It was about us expressing an art form of feeling, you know what I'm saying? Either through spoken word, or you good with that pen, or you good learn how to, you know, listen to them tunes and mix or whatever. You know what I mean? That's how you let that energy out versus whatever you've been through all day.
Right.
So then I came out with the first compilation in that region.
Okay.
This is about 97. Yeah. Where I had all the different MCs that was putting in work at that time. Because, you know, of course, by now, by me being the first CD or hip-hop artist on it was called Record Exchange, on the, you know, on the shelves. I broke ice.
Right.
You know what I mean? So now everybody want to be a rapper and everything. So when at first they were saying you can't do it. And so I came out with this, the VA Subterrestrial Master Mix.
Okay.
And I put I think it was maybe like 20 or so or more MCs from the different regions.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
From around there. Those are some of the names. I might have one or two. I think I had A1 from up here. You familiar with A1? He's an old rapper from Richmond. I think he ended up, I can't remember, got signed or I can't remember. But you know, a lot of the more underground artists, and a lot of cats that I was pretty much working with and trying to help out. The thing why it wasn't so successful, my thing was a lot of that was coming out of my own pocket, you know, from cutting grass.
Yeah.
I used to, you know, haul, you know, metals and all that, and you know, after I got the drug game, you know, I left that alone. Like I said, during the drug war. I got time to be warm with cats, you understand? That was around the 90s, you know. So about now, you know what I'm saying, I'm like, yo, I used to have cats, I make them, put them on here, and I give you a stack. And you're like, yo, just bring me back, you know, X amount. So if I had these for 5, if it was 5, I might, and I gave you 10 of them. I might tell you bring about 20. You make whatever you want.
Right.
You sold them for $10, $20. I didn't care.
Right.
You
Exactly.
feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was giving them avenue, but of course, they felt the other way they needed to put more energy into it. You know what I mean? So it kind of discouraged me from a lot of that, so to speak. So I was still putting the music out at the time because we had no radio.
Right.
But I was in Texas and coming back, maybe a couple months, you know what I mean? I dropped some stuff on the street for everybody to listen to and stuff like that. People dub my stuff, whatever. By 2004, you see where we at now. In the goodie box as I talk. Okay, this is 92. This is one of the first gigs I did. This is 1990.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? It's one of the flyers from the first joint I did. I think I was like 17. Well, the final I had to get my dad to finalize everything.
Right.
Meet the people because I was too young.
Right? That's funny. No, that's great. Yeah.
But I did all the contracting and the business and everything. So this is like the first little gig we did.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
And we cracked the floor there. That's a historical one. Cause me and my man DJ T-Ski back at the time, his name DJ Turricane nowadays. We cracked the floor in the building. You know what I'm saying? So many people, that's when Jump Around was out, jump. So yeah. So that was Memorial Night. So then I guess while I was in Texas, I got around what was called the Pan-African movement, and I started learning more about my culture and stuff that I wasn't familiar with here.
Right.
Because it wasn't presented to me, and I come to learn that the roots of hip hop come out of Africa. You know what I'm saying? So that made me study the African arts, the African culture more to understand what I was doing. And like a lot of the moves we do is Egyptian yoga, ancient yoga. A lot of the moves they call them power moves and stuff nowadays. It's really yoga. You know what I'm saying? Another thing, like I said, I came out in about 2004. I first wanted to start dropping literature.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is like a brief history of
wow, man, that's great.
LBC Central Virginia hip hop. You know what I mean? I was the only one, of course, doing this type of stuff in my particular region that I know of.
Right.
I still haven't found nobody to step forward yet, and that share the experience. Now, I'm hearing some cats like in the Richmond area and in the Towerwood area. They got some hip hop materials out and new books and different stuff.
Yeah.
But definitely not where I'm particularly located. You know what I'm saying? I haven't ran across anybody yet. So I came out with that to pretty much just give a brief history. So then I decided, like I said, doing more community type work and coming out with more books. Came out with another book. Actually, I came out with a hip hop program.
Okay.
For my community. By then, I had a son. He was about, I guess, 11, 12. And around the same time, pretty much I ended up in the street culture, so to speak, because I didn't really have certain guidance. So of course he had me there as guidance, but however I seen how the community, the way the kids dress, walk or talk, they even had pamphlets out about the music they listen to, brands of clothes, that they part of a game.
Right.
And I'm like, wow. And so really they part of hip hop culture.
Right.
You feel me? So then I came out with this one called The Basic 4 Elements of Hip Hop Culture, Hip Hop Culture Arts. And they just gave little briefings. I got a DVD to it as well. I'm bringing the DVD. I'll get that next time. But that's the kind of, I went through the community, started explaining more detail, the purposes of it. Like for me, like I said, it was like an escape from, emotions and whatever. I put it all into what I did and came out something positive, you know what I'm saying? So when I came out with that, I spoke at Liberty. Peace out to my brother Albert Jennings, you know what I'm saying? He introduced me to Liberty University, and we introduced the program over there to the urban ministries. And here to date, in 2000, what we in 16, going to 17, they got scholarships that you can win for breakdancing.
At Liberty?
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild. That's cool.
But you can join what's called the Peacemakers.
Okay. Is that the name of the crew?
Yeah, it's the name of the crew, because for years, I was in the streets, you know, going around to different community centers. I did a couple stuff on different block corners. And people thought I was kind of crazy because hip-hop, the breaking part hadn't really hit yet.
Right.
Not back here.
Right,
This is around 2000 and don't have to say 5 or 6.
Okay.
It wasn't terrible. It was called Stump the Yard when they come out 2008, 2009.
Oh, yeah, around there. I know what you're talking about.
You understand when Stump the Yard came out with the pumping and all that?
Everybody was like, oh, what is this?
Right, so they kind of opened the doors to what's called stumping and all that, but still a form of breaking and all that shit, some of the elements. And so I was trying to do stuff in, like I said, when I came back 2001, 2003 with the kids at the YMCAs and all that, but they was like, nah, you know, that's the whole, you know, they didn't have no faith in it. And I was trying to do dance teams and stuff like that because I knew it was coming.
Right.
Hey, I was in the 97, 98 B-Boy Masters battle. I was in the DMC, you know what I'm saying? I you know, had a chance to, you know, go against the X-Men, you know what I'm saying, like DJ Eclipse, the Scratch Pickles, you know, DJ Badu, his girl, Cutting Candy, they got a crew. I mean, yeah, I was doing that too around 97, 98, 99, and I was like really the only one really representing Virginia at the time. That's before they started doing regional. DMC starting to do regional where they going to different states now. I think they have them in one in Virginia Beach. Yeah, see, first they only did it in certain cities, you know, like New York, London, California, Florida, somewhere, you feel me?
Yeah, because Pop Master Fable's wife, that's the team she takes down all over the place for the DMC battles and stuff like that.
Yeah, so that was around that time period. So that didn't really start off till about 99, 2000 when they started doing the regional stuff. Because when I went to the battles, I tell you, it was one other dude. I think he was from Alexandria, Virginia.
Okay.
But nobody from, you know, all down this region. You know what I'm saying? We was like never heard of. You feel me? So eventually, I think like 2 years later, that's when they was starting doing this different states and stuff like that. Yeah, I could throw that in there. So where we at, 2000 and some, 2006 or so. No, that's around 2005, 6. When I was doing the program too, dropped one of the first in our region, like a reality street TV show. Really, we had one, excuse me, it came out in 89 after I did the first video. Of course, once again, I was too young, and the dude named Vadar, may he rest in peace, you know what I'm saying? He was from Philly, and he kind of took the idea that I was, you know, chopping it up with everybody about, and utilized it. And he came back to me years later and told me that's where he had got the idea from, was me. So that's why I'm able to say this. So if you want to look at it, you know what I'm saying, we kind of had the first video shows. That was around 89, 90. But of course, like I said, I ended up leaving out stuff.
Well, I mean, what do you mean, like showing music videos? Or just like talking?
Hip-hop music videos. It's called video tracks. And then we started, you know what I'm saying, doing some of the locals, you know what I'm saying, shooting videos for them, trying to get their music going and stuff like that. I always been, I guess, kind of part of that type of movement. Helping albums, and, you know what I'm saying, even though, you know, I ain't never been really about the money, you see, that's what I'm doing. So where we had so I came out with the TV show. That was once again an avenue. I was doing 4 cats throughout Virginia, wherever, who show their talent, to show their product, and show the community they from, and where they from, and where they trying to go.
Right.
On
And were you able to show it on
Access Channel.
on Access Channel? Okay.
Yeah, it was shown throughout the Blue Ridge region, over my way. Showed in quite a few counties and stuff like that, and cities. It was channel 190, I think it was, channel. So I first wanted to do that over there. Now they got, movie school over there. They shoot movies now.
Right.
They're getting ready to shoot movies. Let me say that because they just got the program about 3 or 4 years ago. And a couple of cats did shoot a couple of documentaries and different stuff. My thing is, you know what I'm saying, by me being one of the elders of this thing, why they don't call me?
Right,
You feel what I'm saying? They leave the cats as real grassroots, because I'm real grassroots still.
Right.
They kind of leave us out of the game. You know what I'm saying? Keep us out of the pictures, so to speak, and that's not cool, you know what I mean? Because it's about preserving the history and really passing on the true fact. You know what I mean? And don't leave out those who put in that work. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, especially in my particular area, like I said, if I didn't keep doing what I was doing, I'm not saying it wouldn't eventually happen, but you know what I'm saying?
But right, yeah.
Their minds, they wouldn't even had it, been introduced to it, you feel me? Because it's been like forbidden and forgotten.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is an interesting thing. So the one guy that I'm familiar with from Roanoke, right? So out that way, is Pomac.
I remember Pomac. Yeah, I done stuff on Pomac before.
Yeah. So that's what I was wondering.
Okay,
in terms of just trying to like connect the different generations, So
right.
So yeah, I never talked to him. I just know that he's out there. So yeah, I was just curious. So yeah, you work with him, or he's at least talked with you and acknowledged the fact that like I'm here because of what you did.
No, because I don't really know all the things that's going on in the Roanoke region.
Okay, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? However, when I went down through there, and I was like really the only person from the Central Virginia area that had mixtapes. Remember, like I told you, had in the stores or the moms and pop stores at that time, we had the record stores.
Right.
We only had Ron G and DJ Clue.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was something going on, but no locals really.
Right.
You feel me? So I can't really say he might have did, because part of his crew, you know what I'm saying, is part of the old school crew that I can't, you know what I'm saying, that I showed some stuff, or we showed each other stuff too back in the day. So he is probably an inkling of it, you know what I mean, somewhere down through the generation.
Yeah, or at the very least, right? It's like, without you putting out tapes or showing that this is a culture, a way to express yourself that you can do right here.
Right here.
It's not coming. Like, you don't have to be from somewhere else to do it. Right. Yeah.
That was the objective. Yeah. That was because, like I told you, when I put that first one out, cats said you couldn't do it.
Right.
Not in this area.
Right.
It's gonna be impossible in X, Y, and Z. You see what I'm saying? And so, yeah, you can say, you know what I'm saying, because I was putting so many cats on, they shared it with their cousins and friends and so forth.
Right.
So, I can say I laid the first seed.
Right.
Let's say that. So where it's spread and how it grow.
Yeah.
I don't know, can't take all, but I can say that nobody else was really doing it that I know of, that I even heard of at that time. You know what I'm saying? Now Legend, at the time you got during the 80s and 90s, you got Sam the Beast. He's one of the cats used to bring like Charlottesville area, even Richmond. He up here in Richmond now. Sam the Beast from the East. Okay. He came out. He got signed to, getting signed to Atlantic Records. He had a song called "Knocking Boots" in the mid '90s or something like that. So he's a legend, DJ as well, an artist. He do dance music. What is it called? Party music. I think it's called. RJ kind of is the next generation to kind of come with that. Ever heard DJ Cool from out of DC? he was another cat that came through our area that's known. But he had a you probably know he made the song with Dougie Fresh. I can't think of it right now. He had one called a 10-minute workout. Oh man, what's that? Let me clear my throat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
you know.
can't think of the name, but yeah.
Yeah, that's DJ Cool right there. That made him, you know what I'm saying, go platinum, was to Let Me Clear My Throat. So he used to come through Virginia. So yeah, man, so I pretty much from that to then I came, the next one was, I got a youth program even now that I would like to, you know, go to the communities, people hire me for, you know what I'm saying, call us in and definitely purchase our books.
Right.
With the support, that's how like I said, everything is self-funded for me right now. You know what I mean? I don't really have no sponsors. I don't really have a lot of people, you know, supporting it 100% because like I said, I'm more grassroots. And definitely nowadays, you know, well now doing this, I'll call it this shift. Everybody is looking for seeking knowledge now, more so than, you know, in the 90s, when I was early 2000s and stuff like that. Now we in that age of seeking and looking for truth. And so that's why I came out with the basic origin of roots in hip hop culture.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? From kings to gangsters.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? How we, you know, dealing more, like I was telling you earlier, when I went down to Texas and I started getting part of the Pan-African. And because believe it or not, man, I used to have to come up here to like Virginia State, Norfolk State, just to find anything to do with African history or black history. I couldn't find nothing in the local libraries, even the colleges down in my area.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And we talking about before the internet now. A lot of people might say, well, why don't you just get on the internet?
Right.
You know, no. We talking about some real research where you go to the library, you know, go through the indexes and try to find what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So, you know, some real research. But you can find it.
Right. So,
you know, I had to travel way up here to these black colleges and stuff to even really be introduced to North Carolina, go down there, NC State and stuff like that. And we talking about now like I said 95, 96, something like that. So that's why I came out with this kind of brief history joint. To kind of, you got to understand culture from all aspects. And when we become a lost culture, you don't understand yourself. So that's why we, you know, my opinion, you know, we doing a lot of stupid stuff nowadays. Don't have certain respects. Don't understand, like when I was coming up in the streets, like they call us gang. They call it, I understand the media called us gangs. You feel me? When we was on the streets, we called ourselves first tribes. We talking about early 80s. Then we went to clans. You know, like X-Clan, remember them and stuff. We started ourselves clans. Then we went to posses. That was all the way up until about 90. And then they started talking about the gang thing. They was doing after doing the drug war.
Right.
You feel me? And they was doing the time of Eazy-E and NWA coming out with these lyrics.
Right.
To label us as this. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it really, on the street level, nah, we ain't looked at each other as that. We did call ourselves like a posse or a clan or something like that, but we were more like brotherhood. You know what I mean? If you know, around us and stuff.
Right.
Versus what's going on now.
Right.
So, you know, that's pretty much briefing who I am and what I know. I'm put it in like 30 minutes. Yeah, 40 minutes. My bag, man.
No,
go ahead for your questioning now. I'm ready for straight questioning.
No, I think that was
good.
That was a really good. Well, not only a really good introduction to an introduction and overview of your history, all the work that you've done,
right?
And then as well as the history of your hip hop culture from, I mean, you know, from the late '70s on up,
right?
Which is good because now we're digging a little bit, drill down on you. So, in terms of first question that I ask everybody love to, and I think that this is going to be good with everything that we've already talked about. But for you, then, what is your earliest memory of hip hop culture?
I was 8 years old. And my mother used to work at this club. She part-time, and she had to go by there. It might have been a youth dance or something, I'm not sure. But it was older people there. And of course, I couldn't be in the public eye. So I was back there with the DJ.
Okay.
So to be back there at 8 years old, it was like all these flashing lights going and all these different, gadgets and stuff,
right.
you know what I mean? I'm just looking around and he enjoying himself with the music, and I look out on the floor and everybody partying. And then after it was over, there was one guy there left. His name was Cricket. I'll never forget his name. And he was doing the robot. And he had the traditional look. The traditional look, you know what I'm saying? You got the black with the spandex, white gloves, and the b-boy hat, bebop hat.
Right.
I call that traditional look, you know what I'm saying? So he was like, you know what I'm saying, this pot, doing that robot stuff, and I was like, wow. And that was my very first time. Even my mom said the first time she ever seen me like dance or anything. You know what I mean? 'Cause I was trying to do what he was doing, because he showed me 1 or 2 moves. Okay. However, come to find out, dude lived in my apartment complex.
Oh, okay.
So, when my mom at the time was also the manager of the apartment complex. However, he was like 19, 20, you understand, older dude. And he had a younger brother though. His name was Popcorn. I'll never forget his name. He might be like 16, 17. Remember now, I ain't nothing like I said, 8 or 9.
What year we talking?
We were like, what, 79?
Okay.
Going into 1980. And what happened was, they ain't like today, getting into hip hop.
Right.
It was almost like a secret society. Yeah. In a lot of cases, you know what I mean? So it was almost, you had certain initiations and stuff. And so I asked him, I seen him, like, yo, you teach me? Like, nah, I'm too young. Cool. So what happened was, him and his brother Popcorn got to fighting one day, and I just happened to be outside on the bike. And I heard glass break, and I ran, rode my bike around there, and Cricket had put his hand through the window because he had missed his brother when he threw the punch.
Yeah.
So he started running past me. I said, what's he doing? He was going to the hospital. And I looked at him, he was cutting in all the way to the bone, right? He trying to run to the hospital. So I ran to the house, rode back to the house and told, elder at the house, what I'm saying, what had just happened. This dude running to the hospital. So, of course, people got in the car and picked him up.
Right.
And so, to make a long story short, his brother Popcorn came to me and told me, since you saved my brother's life, so to sense,
I'll teach you.
I teach you a couple of moves.
Okay.
If I ain't gonna teach you, how to really do it. I said, all right, cool, I take that. And so the only thing he showed me was the glides. He showed me 5 main glides that I needed to know. You know what I'm saying? If I was standing up or whatever, I'll show you. But he showed me 5 main glides. And so I went home, and of course that's like a day and night activity for me.
Right.
Come back maybe a couple of weeks later. I'm like, yo, I'd like to be down with you. They had a little crew.
Right.
And there was something coming up, some type of talent show coming up. And they was gonna be in it. However, I can't remember how it went down. But by me being so little and young, it was like, let me see what you got. So I showed him little things that I practiced on. He's like, okay, nice. You worked on what I showed you. So then he said, but to be in the crew, you're gonna have to battle against the weakest dude.
Right.
And that was a dude named Todd. I remember his name too. He might have been like 14 or 13. And so I had to battle against that dude, and I beat him. Of course, his feelings was tore up.
Yeah.
Cause I ain't no but a little 8, 9-year-old kid.
Right.
You know what I mean? So his ego and everything tore up about that thing.
Right.
So they started joining me and started showing me the thing. We had a crew. My mom said I need to find them pictures.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
My first talent show, I was like the littlest dude in the crew. And that was my first experience being on stage and stuff like that. So that was my first introductions to hip hop and getting into it. I guess because I saved the cat's life, if you want to look at it.
So, I mean, we've talked about it, gone over it, and we've already sort of implicitly or, talked about it without necessarily being direct about it in terms of, the elements in hip hop. I mentioned that, but just to sort of put it out there in the open, how would you define hip hop?
You mean overall?
Yeah, like if someone came up to you, but somebody is, we'll say me, right? I'm coming in and say, I'm like, how, not even how would you define it, but if I asked you, I said to you, I said, what is hip hop? How would you explain it to anybody off the street?
I tell them it's a combination of rhythm, dance, drum. Actually, I kind of explained that in here, in my book for those who try to get it. So rhythm, speech, dance, and visual arts. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it is at the end of the day. It's rhythm, speech, dance, and visual arts. And it's a universal art. And it started in poor communities. As like I was saying earlier, it's an avenue of expressment and something to do and stuff like that, because we used to go around and battle, you know what I'm saying? Then you had to practice.
Right.
You might get beat today, you coming back next week, you know what I mean?
Right.
Give me about a few days, I'll be back.
Right.
So it's almost like you're fighting or something like that. It was a sport, so to speak, you know?
So, I mean, especially in terms of, talking with you, in terms of how deep you go, that you can sort of trace your history in hip hop. So I think another good question, right, to talk with folks is just in terms of like, who are your influences? Who were your influences? And do you have more influences today in terms of influencing you in terms of hip hop and hip hop culture?
Well, like I kind of ran down to some of the people that pretty much inspired me. Like I said, my man Cricket, Popcorn. I think Cricket, he was part of a frat or something. You know what I mean? So of course, they got secret moves. Today, I mean, I really don't. I'm so much now. Well, let me say it like this. Like I said, my man Earl B. Can't forget my man Bobby B. He was from New York. He was from the Bronx. He was the one that actually took the time and kind of showed me how to actually scratch and stuff and the basics of the turntable. My man Sir Charles the Bomb, I gotta give it to him. Even Sam the Beast, because when he came to town, he gave a show. And, I had a chance to be back there and, watch them, behind the scenes type of thing, watch the DJ, be back there with them, be with that energy. And I was like 14, 15 going to the clubs that a lot of people couldn't go into my age.
Right.
My uncles and, people I knew, and people knew that I DJ'd, you know what I mean? So they'll let me in, but I couldn't be like once again, a public guy.
Right. Yeah, to be behind the scenes.
Yeah, always behind it. And then here today, Man, I just mean, like I said, I try to teach or share information of where it's at today, because we got to understand, like I said, since 90s, 92, 93, you had a program coming. It was almost like in the 60s when they had COINTELPRO. Anything that's dealing with us developing as a community, as a culture. You ask me part of what is the hip hop culture. Part of the culture not only is the speech and all that creates your society. You know what I mean, or make you civil or uncivil.
Right.
You understand? And so I try to go out here now and share it to the younger people, because they don't understand that at all.
Right.
You know, what's even a culture?
Yeah, no, it's true.
You see what I'm saying? So when you start getting into the hip hop, I mean, we are actually a nation now, from my understanding. And so now we just got to get more into the political arena, or really start formulating things, or communities like me and now that's getting formed. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty much inspired by them type of people who's in it, and is thinking that way. I see, what was his name? He just did something down in Durham at Duke a couple of years back. I think it was Ninth Wonder.
Oh, Ninth Wonder. 2 weeks he'll be in Richmond.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, in fact, remind me, I want to something I want to talk to you about when we're done with this, but yeah.
Yeah, I like to see that, Ninth Wonder, you know what I'm saying? You know, he's a person breaking ice right now, from my understanding, going to different colleges right now, sharing some of the same, elements and information that, I have the ability or been doing too, but like I said, I haven't been really out there, because a lot of people don't even know me right now. But we on the same path, so to speak, and I'm loving that. And so yeah, I mean, brothers like him. Actually, I met some of his camp, Ninth Wonder camp, back in the 90s when he first kind of like started. He had a crew out in Oklahoma. Okay. You know what I'm saying, that I haven't been introduced to, and they was telling me about, the things they was getting ready to do.
Right.
Before he got to the level he at now.
Right.
So yeah.
So the story about, or the background history, how you got initiated into dancing, being a breaker, right? With Popcorn Cricket. Great story, and we mentioned it in passing, right? With Earl B, Bobby B, in terms of you.
I'm DJ, yeah.
DJing, but yeah, you want to. I think it'd be good too if you wouldn't mind just sort of like telling the story of your sort of
DJing.
Yeah, right.
On a DJ tip, I was about maybe 11, 12. Like I said, I would donate that turntable, y'all. And I just got more into it. Like I said, after the breaking scene fell, that was the next element I pretty much picked up. And I was always a turntablist. Unlike Earl B and all that, they did more a little scratching and cutting, but I always used to love to scratch with different parts of my body. Feet, hands, butt, nuts. I mean, I used to literally bring cats from New York and different places to my house to try to battle me. You know what I mean? 'Cause I had this big sign in my room.
Yeah.
If you want to touch my turntables, you must battle.
Okay.
So different cats that came in, if you want to touch, it's cool, but these are the consequences,
Right.
So it was like that. So I always had constant battles, because there was constant people always coming through, and some cats, they knew they couldn't DJ.
Right.
They just wanted to touch the turntables, But it was all good.
Yeah.
So I just started teaching quite a few cats, because I did, tricks and stuff. I could do a lot of different stuff. When I moved to Dallas, and I was called DJ Cool B up until I moved to Dallas. When I moved to Dallas, they ended up calling me my man Dagwood.
Okay.
He was from this group called the Children of the Corn out of Arkansas.
Okay.
and he was an MC, and he was my roommate. I was going to the Art Institute of Dallas at the time. I didn't finish the program, unfortunately. Got kicked out. But he was staying with me, and he one gave me the name the Mad Butcher. He's the first one that like I can't remember all the details of it right now. Like I said, around 90, 92, 91, something like that. And so I liked it. Like, all right, I like that, fam. So part of the mad part is part of my, you know what I'm saying, the way I carry myself, sense of humor, stuff like that. And butcher part is the way I be cutting it up, or, you know, sometimes I, you know, play with cats. You know. It's like any real B-boy battle, you know. We had that with, so then the big thing was in Dallas. They wanted me to go against DJ Baby G.
Okay.
You familiar with him? DJ Baby G, he won in 90, I want to say 96, 97 USA title.
Okay, and this is in Dallas?
Yeah, he was in Dallas. He in Austin now, I heard. San Antonio, somewhere like that. But he part of the Cold Chris. At that time, they came out album. They got signed to Profile Records.
Okay.
So everybody was like, they wanted me to go against him because he also was known for cutting with his feet.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I had a few extra tricks up my sleeve, personally. You know what I mean? So everybody knew this that was in the underground scene.
Right.
Because in Dallas at the time, it was called a place called Deep Elm. And from my understanding, when I got there in 92 or whatever, 91, 92, we wasn't really allowed in that area.
Are we talking neighborhood?
Well, it was like a club scene.
That was a club, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So Deep Elm was a venue?
No, Deep Elm is like, what you call what y'all call it here in Richmond? The Bachman, with all a bunch of clubs and
like
restaurants. Like Stockholm Bottom, yeah, like that. But, you know what I'm saying? This was called Deep Elm. And so, we wasn't really down. So I was part of one of the crews called Asiatic Crew.
Okay.
And you had K-Son, like I said, Cold Chris, and a couple of other cats. They were some of the first people in the Dallas region, in that particular area, to break the ice on that, to make it more universal. But mainly, it was just you know what I'm saying, what they call hippies, you know what I'm saying, and bikers, you know, stuff like that in that particular region, or bars and stuff that was in. So we introduced the hip hop culture more down in that area. So when I came back here DJing, I mainly DJed for the youth, because a lot of people they were scared. You know, they scared to death of the youth, even now. They like, I ain't DJing for them, they shoot me, do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
But I was that dude that showed love, and they understood. And it's personally, I feel it's how you run it.
Yeah.
And how you carry yourself, because kids are always watching you anyway. You carry yourself as a true man, trust me, they're gonna respect you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, so my focus is more DJing for the younger generation, all the way up until, like I said, I started doing the books and stuff. So about 2008, 9, because the last place we did might be in 2010. The last place we did was called the Lions Den, and we had a bunch of kids, man, from different counties, man. But we already had got a tip that the boys was gonna come in on us, and I know because we was over capacity. And my man didn't do the basic things he needed to for the fire codes and stuff. But they had been watching us from day one. They said, you know, that's another story.
Yeah, you know, I'm glad you brought that up. everybody I talk to in terms of Virginia, we talk about this issue. And I had a conversation with somebody else as well. But would you mind just talking about ability to just be able to book a club, have a show at a club, and say, "Yo, we're gonna do hip hop."
Ooh.
Yeah.
You say that word like. Ooh.
Yeah. So would you mind just sort of sketching the history of that in Virginia, because I mean, it's just like you bring that up and everyone's like, oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, once again, you know what I'm saying, we no disrespect, we dealing with supposed to be a Christian culture, a Christian society. Now I can speak for my particular region, like I was telling you, they was calling it satanic and all that. However, now they got it at the Liberty University.
That's wild. I mean, can you imagine that?
You know what I mean? Like, what is this? So, okay. Now, what you saying, like I said, during the crack war.
Yeah.
This is when the clubs, from my view, from what I seen growing up, like I said, I was on the streets with them. You know what I mean? I was really out there. So I can only tell you what I seen in my particular region.
Right.
And the transformation that happened.
Right.
And what they did, like I said, one, they wiped out the radio station.
Right.
That was an important move they did. Now, how can I really promote these different artists?
Right.
Because the average person in that city don't even know them.
Right.
There's no way to tune in on them. You feel what I'm saying? So who are these comedians? Okay. So we're looking at media sources. Okay. Of course, to promote anything, we got to have a media source.
Right.
Okay. Number two, you're looking at the buildings. Like I said, what happens then, a lot of cases, a lot of these cats was in business. Okay. The new generation that's coming up now, they getting like the backlash of what we did.
Right.
From our generation of saying we doing hip hop. You know what I mean? But we was just in there drinking or, it's buck wild.
Right.
It wasn't no true cultural, essence going on. You know what I mean? May have some cats rapping and DJing, that true essence going on. Not personally in our particular region, anyway, I can say in the 80s, in the 90s.
Right.
Like I said, now in region within this new decade, in the last 10 or so years, they've been doing it. You know what I mean? However, they only allowing the Christian rappers and B-boys. Now they go in there saying you doing some Christian hip hop.
Okay.
You probably can book anything around here.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, remember also now, I was just saying that we dealing with an African art form too. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I told you, I had to go long and far to learn about our culture.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, about the drum. How we used to even use the drum to talk with. And that's what we doing with the turntables. When we scratching, I know how to actually make the record speak when I'm scratching. You know what I mean? So we had the ability to do that with these instruments. These are our new instruments. And so a lot of people don't want that.
Right.
They don't want, and I can say for my particular reason, when I'm breaking, a lot of the Caucasian, the European, when the youth start getting more into it, that's when it's like, oh no.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They listening to this music. At one time it was called the jungle music when I was coming up. You know what I'm saying? In the 80s, 90s, you know what I'm saying? So now they listening to it. They got it all around the crib.
Right.
So then you got your European race your parents trying to adjust to this.
Right.
Because they used to do the country or heavy metal, something like that, or rock and roll, or something like that.
Right.
So they, you remember now in the 90s we had the culture war. You remember that? Pat Buchanan and all them, they was talking about the culture war.
Right.
So they was very like, So now also, like I said, our generation wasn't utilizing these facilities in an art form or for, like you said, events type of thing like we're doing now.
Right.
And so, you know, we had a lot of people, you know, fighting, acting foolish and stuff. But mainly it was just bad business ran. Because the people who did it didn't do the proper business, proper security, like I said, from day one,
Right.
carrying themselves a certain way. For when these people come through, they know they're about their business.
Right.
It was like a bully. You know, you can push over the dude, you can push over him.
Right.
So that's kind of messed up the business over all of it. So now we get into, because I mean, I had booked places like when I was doing stuff in the 90s, early 2000s, when I came back and stuff. It was people calling in, telling the owners of the building or whoever, you know what I'm saying, I rented from, false information.
Right.
And they'll call me up, and I don't put promotion out and everything, and they end up counseling me out and stuff.
Right,
I'm like, what kind of people you having? And all that. I'm like, I'm having human beings.
Right.
What do you mean, what type of people? You see? So when they hear hip hop, first thing they're gonna imagine is gangsterism.
Right.
You know, twerking. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I had to come out with the basic 4 elements of hip hop and start to get it to the community level. Of like, no, this is what we really do when we say the words hip hop. You see what I'm saying? So that's my view is mainly because of the media have gave it so much negativity a lot of cases. Now what's happening now though is starting to kind of get a positive shine, right? However, no disrespect, is being took over now by the LGBTQ community. So now we having it's turning into more of a homosexuality thing. So that's more acceptable. Versus me coming in with my African attire or talking real consciousness to the people, trying to uplift you to do something better. You see what I'm saying? You know, believe in yourself. You know, all the good stuff that we really need in society. They're like, But now, like for instance, I was just looking at some stuff. The young, he calling himself Jeffrey now.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Young Thuggish, young whatever.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Check out, he got a new album coming out called Jeffrey.
Okay.
He's wearing a dress.
Okay.
An old 1700 dress or something like that, with the ruffles and stuff. This is a man for our youth.
Right.
And he's supposed to be a thug, a gangster.
Right.
When I was coming up, gangsters didn't wear dress.
Right.
You would get your head peeled coming through the hood with that.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
No. So these are the things that is being accepted. So now we can go to the bar, different place. But you're either gonna be under the Christian label, or you're gonna have to be under the new quote unquote hip hop era. Which, like I was saying, it looked to me is going, you know, more of a homosexuality. I mean, there's nothing wrong with what you do in your closed doors. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? But when you start teaching little babies or our youth something that they really haven't made a decision in life yet, you know what I mean? And a lot of cats, from my understanding, come from abuse. That's even why they even started doing some of these activities and stuff. Because someone took advantage of who they are. Right. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the way I look at it. I think a lot of it's coming from the media and just pretty much what they displaying of what's hip hop. When you hear them words, it scrunches them up. Because of the labels, yeah. So that's why we need more programs and to educate the community level first.
So I'm also interested, I mean, you've talked about this as well, but putting it more in terms of, or just putting like a point on it about the differences that you experienced between what was happening in Dallas and then what was happening when you would come back to Virginia.
Big difference. That was a big difference. Dallas, South was more still segregated, believe it or not. So the African American community was mainly African, and Latino was mainly Latino. You see what I'm saying? And that was at that time, you know what I'm saying, the 90s and stuff like that. When I came down in that particular region. However, when it came to the b-boy scene and the hip-hop scene, of course now the DJs really is the leaders of this thing. I mean, we go back to the beginnings of it in '71. You know what I mean? With DJ Mario out of Bronxdale, out of the Bronx. You know what I mean? That's before Africa Bambaataa. Oh well, we don't call him Africa Bambaataa no more. He's Bambaataa now. Yeah. For those, I don't know if people familiar about his allegations that's going on. So we just call him Bambaataa nowadays.
That's right.
So
or
Greek Bambaataa.
Or the folks that are have decided just to put his government out there now. They just call him Lance.
Oh, his name Lance?
Yeah.
I didn't even gotta catch that one
yet.
yet.
Lance Taylor. So now people are just like Lance.
Lance, okay, Lance Taylor, you know, that dude there. So it was before him. So, and just like him, DJ Mario and stuff, you have so many, even with my situation, people who kind of start stuff, and we just did it for love. To where it's at now, it's like money. It's who got the biggest bucks. So it's just something totally different going on now, in my view.
Does Virginia have a sound, a style that you say that is Virginia, or I don't know, I'm keeping it open. I'm gonna say it's like it does Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah,
have
okay.
A style or a sound.
So I was down in South, because we was talking about the difference in the hip hop. Like I said, when I came back here, my particular region, we still on the drug tip, still getting arrested, going to jail and out. You had a couple of cats that's still trying to do the studio, but because it ain't no clubs, nowhere where you can express your talent, even make $5 at the door.
Right.
That's a bad business to be in, right? In our region. So Timberland. It's called the Timberland sound. You know, with the Missy Elliott, the drop. That hit the South when I was down there. The music we getting now from the South, a lot of the boom boom and they dancing and popping, that's really, in my view, the Timberland sound.
Okay.
The VA sound.
Okay. So
You just don't transform and because when I first went down there, they wouldn't even listen to East Coast music like that. They listen to the West Coast, or cats like Scarface and all them. Cause Rap-A-Lot had that thing, locked down in the South.
Right.
So you didn't really hear anything outside of that community 100%. I know cats that went, gold within inside their community. So they really supported each other.
Right.
Which is different when you come over here.
Right.
It was more of an egotistic. It was a different energy when it came to certain businesses. To where they're in there, they embrace you. Let's come on over, let's get together, let's politic together. So that made a big difference. And like I said, that sound that we have is really the Southern sound that cats are using today. You see them popping and girls popping their booty or twerking and kind of break it down. That came from that Timberland sound with Missy Elliott Jones. What's the name of that joint they came out with first? The Bounce. Remember? Bounce. The Bounce. What they did. Boom. So when I was down there, that hit so hard, and I seen, and then you had the producers that I've seen kind of imitating, but yet throwing their little twist to it.
Right.
Because they had the little, like I said, they had the West Coast sound, and then you had the Houston, what they call the Houston sound.
Okay, the chop and screw.
Right, then you have the with DJ Ron and all them. I met them before, I did interviews with them. You have who else you had? Louisiana sound.
Okay.
Mississippi got a sound.
Okay.
They call it swamp music.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you in Virginia, we have a combination of go-go
Right.
Of course, the New York sound, and then like I said, in the '90s, the Southern sound. With the Southern sound, is still VA sound, but they just don't really know it. I don't think. You know, that's just my view.
Yeah. So if we're thinking about, like, we'll say post after Timbaland becomes Timbaland, right? After Missy becomes Missy, after the Neptunes sort of come up as well. Yeah, because I mean, you hear anything by those artists, and you immediately know who it is, right? So, you know, I mean, what's interesting you talk about is that in some ways that becomes the background for all these other regions. They're going to start there, and then they're going to add a little bit of their local flavor.
Their own local flavor on top, yes. Because, you know what I'm saying, to that region. Yeah. I mean, it might be a horn.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you know the California more into them horns. You know, more into that type of sound. So they might add a little bit of that with that Timbaland sound, that boom, 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 boom. You see what I'm saying? Then it's to the point they don't even do a beat. It's like boom, right. Boom. So really, they don't even have no rhythm, because rhythms is 4 seconds to be 1, 2,
right,
3, 4. You see,
right.
And a lot of youngins not even on that level right now.
Right.
And because my son is starting. He's from this new generation, and just trying to get to him to understand. You know, it's real. So yeah.
Okay. So now I want to slide into this last little bit, what I like to call the reflection section. Right. So first off, if you wouldn't mind putting words to it, even though everything we talked about has been about this, it's just, how has hip hop impacted your life?
Oh man. If it wasn't for hip hop, man, I'd be either dead or in jail, or had been to prison by now a few times. I can say it helped me receive love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though I don't see it all the time, but when I walk the streets and I hear people like, yo, you still doing this, or you still doing that, or I remember when you did this. They'll bring that light in you like, man, oh, word. It showed me that I touched somebody when you don't even know that you touched somebody. You see what I'm saying? And you can touch somebody negative or positive. Right. So that's why cats, that's out here putting them lyrics and craziness out. They got to really watch that. Because you might get older like me, you know what I'm saying? You look back, you're like, damn. And you don't see the chaos that you don't spread it from one little seed. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even though I planted a seed, 20-some years ago, now what is 22 years ago?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And I see what the different things that's going on. People got CDs out, you know what I'm saying? Videos out like crazy. Stuff like that, Well, in the background, like cats don't even know who some of the root players or the main players was. You see what I'm saying? Well, my thing is, for those who did know, to see that, it gives me that extra push, that extra, the work paid off through somebody, you feel what I'm saying? To go forward, I'm trying to raise money now to kind of go to Africa. I'm into holistic health, and part of wealth is your health. And I want to kind of learn some of the things from Africa, but when I, add on to my knowledge I already have and kind of combine it into still in the hip hop culture, because we like I said, with culture, we also, we got educational facilities, we got medical facilities, you know what I'm saying? These things that we should be having in the near future, housing, you know what I'm saying? Right. And in some places, they are kind of doing it to a small scale, you know what I mean? But hopefully it gets bigger, and hopefully we still there laying some groundwork and still doing this, a different level of it, to try to put it all together, and just find other cats that's willing to work together and grow.
So, So talking about its impact on you personally,
Right.
what do you think hip hop's impact has been on? I mean, let's start on American culture, but then we can blow it out too and say what's its impact been on global culture.
If it wasn't for hip hop, we probably still have racism to a big degree. You know what I'm saying? That's my view on that. Because we cross so many barriers. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta give props to Run DMC for Walk This Way.
Yeah.
Yeah, people walk this way for a minute, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so that really opened it up for a lot of people for to understand or even know that we exist. You know what I'm saying? During that era. This modern stuff though, fam. Yeah. Man, and then man, what was his name again? Lance Teller, man, he ain't making no better, you know.
No, he's not.
Cause you know they got councils.
Yeah.
I mean this stuff is new. I mean they just starting this stuff within the last 3-4 years. And so we already know, you know, I don't know, man. I feel if we can just, you know, really, especially here in VA. VA, we got it tough. You know what I mean? The biggest thing, like you were saying a minute ago, is finding venues.
Right.
One of the things I personally came to the decision is that we can't really tell them we bring in hip hop like that. We bring in some type of social event.
Right.
That's the key word.
Right.
See, words are important, brother.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They hold power. Then once you book it and everything else, you know.
Right.
You know, we having the hip hop elements involved or whatever.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? For those who understand, you know, trying to be part of the event. But that's what I had to do. I had to watch my wording. You know, because they wasn't accepting them words. So we had to find things, you know, of the cultural arts and stuff like that. Like I said, now they starting to do it more because, like I said, the Christian school now, you know, got the peacemakers and they got a couple of rappers that done got signed and they doing big things. They got radio station. They, you know, they doing big things.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But that's from the Christian level.
Right.
What we doing is sinful and some other stuff. So, I mean, yeah, that's what I'm seeing right now.
So let's look. We look out 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, 20, 25 years. You know, we'll just keep stacking up those years.
Right.
Where's hip hop gonna be in your life?
Like I said, if they don't get the culture part right, you know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, I've been in this thing, you know, since first generation, the end of it. And I've been grassroots means I've been working in the community and really trying to spread it and like I said, give kids and youth other avenues. However, this new stuff that done came out within this year, I mean, personally, like I was saying to you earlier, whatever you do personally, that's your business.
Right.
But I can't see myself trying to teach my youth something, you know what I mean, of that nature.
Right.
But if we keep it more cultural, you know what I'm saying, whether it be locally or worldwide, because it is a worldwide thing, but even when I'm hearing from the elders and other people worldwide, they just imitating us street cats here in the United States. You know what I mean? You know, so really, until we understand the basic street culture, you know, hip hop to me, you know, it may be at its ending state, and maybe time, like Daddy O said, you know what I mean? Maybe it's time for us to transform to some other things, versus using the word hip hop right now, because there's so much heat on that word. It's just the word, you know. That's the bad thing. That's the only thing I can really say right now about that, you know.
I mean, in terms of, as you can see, my little cheat sheet.
Yeah, take your time.
My little cheat sheet, we hit everything based on what I wanted to ask, or which was beautiful, is that you anticipated just about everything, the vast majority of the stuff I want to talk about anyways. So we covered everything there. But, you know, before sort of call it a wrap, I was wondering, is there anything that perhaps I didn't ask that I should have? And number two, anything you want to add that we didn't cover?
Well, one thing I like to add, like I said, I like people, you know what I'm saying, is to try to support the whole movement. My newest movement right now is from Kings to Gangsters. It was I'm hip hop, not gangster. Excuse me. However, the newest one is from Kings to Gangsters, and I would like to get booked, man. I mean, you put in work, you at least want to get paid for it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I've been doing this thing for 30-some years, and like I said, I've never been in really for the money. You know what I'm saying? I did enough to survive, be able to reproduce the materials or whatever. But you know what I'm saying? If I had like the teams that some of these cats got, and people who understood certain things in business and that I don't know how to cover, and oh man. I mean, I got all that, you know, already down. It's a matter of structuring and putting it out. You know what I'm saying? But I would like the people to know that, you know what I'm saying, we can do hip hop here. We need to make it more culturally, because we are now a nation.
Right.
So we can utilize that as being, you know, part of what they're calling the Zulu Nation. To start making certain political, or like I said, building communities like this. Right. And it's be strictly hip hop. Right. We don't have to worry about no more clubs. Right. You know, none of that.
You make your own spaces.
You're making your own community.
Yeah, exactly.
And people come from afar. Yeah. To join in your community. Yeah. To have fun, to enjoy the elements, to enjoy what y'all have available. You see what I'm saying? I mean, that's how I think almost everything. You know what I mean? And you know, a lot of people ain't thinking like I am. And they're like, dude, you know, let's go drink a brew, or you know, smoke some herb, and you know, have some sex. You know, forget that other stuff, man. It's too much. But I see it. I mean, people doing it around us every day. Right. And that's all they doing. They just taking what they love, things that they love, and they coming together. And supplying some type of income for that particular community. Right. And that's all any community is. Yeah. And so we're really serious about it. So it don't have to be, you know, acres upon acres. You can start off small. People don't done it with but 4 or 5 acres of land, you know. You start off. The next thing you know, they got a whole city, like around here probably. They started off probably a couple acres with a little barn and stuff. But the more people that came in, the more people that joined that particular culture, you see what I'm saying? They grew. They invested in each other, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, if we really want, all we gotta do really, the thing is the unison, and then a lot of things you see a lot of people dealing still with the race card, and you know, once you, like I said, that's because we don't understand our culture. Right. If we understand about ourselves, then we don't have to worry about everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Even, you know, from me researching a lot of the Europeans, you know what I'm saying, not understanding their own culture. You know, and if they did, then they'd be like, okay, wow, I ain't who I thought I was. Right. You see what I'm saying? But this is what they teach me that I am, or I should be, or act, or whatever. And when I see that shirt, I mean, when I was younger, we walked down the street, you know, with our b-boy gear, with radio. You know, people used to ride by and roll up the windows and lock the doors. Right. I mean, we little kids. Right. You know, what we gonna do? Take our radio that we listening to and bang it upside your head? What? You know, that ain't happening. So that's the type of fear people even have when we walk down the street, especially nowadays.
Right.
You know, that's why I feel and can relate to these youngins, because I grew up in a different era, but I grew up similar. I was one of the first B-boys on the street, what they call bad boys. That's what you know, it was bad boys, bad girls. You know what I mean? Because our parents wasn't really there. You know what I mean? So we gathered in the streets, and this is what we did. That's where the term come from. That's where you got that, what is it, cops, remember that?
Yeah.
Bad boy, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when we come for you? See, that originally, you know, dealing with us. You know, the B-boys, B-girls. Like,
Yeah, so I was gonna say, you know, for everything, we'll wrap it up with that, because I think, I think in terms of all the histories that I've done, conducted, and recorded, this has been, I think, the first really, really, really nice, comprehensive history of hip hop culture in Virginia from the start, right? I mean, if we're gonna say 79 as a moment when folks outside of New York could really start to buy, you know, you can start to buy quote unquote hip hop records,
right?
As the culture could travel that way without necessarily without being lucky enough to be initiated, right? Popcorns and like that to the present. So yeah, so I just want to thank you for agreeing. The dynamic, the magnificent, stupendous DJ Mad Butcher, being a part of the William&Mary Hip Hop Collection. It's been good.
Well, Mr. Kevin, I really appreciate y'all, man, and it's been like an honor, and it's like really means a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? I can even be part of this. You know what I mean? It's like I said, you know, a lot of us wiped out, swept up under the rug. You never hear about us. You know what I mean? And so that means all our work went in vain.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And they ain't really do nothing.
Right,
but you know what I'm saying? There's certain contributions that if it didn't happen, we wouldn't have it today. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm just saying in our particular region that I'm, you know, talking of. Like I said, up here is something totally different. But I definitely love everybody out there. Peace, you know what I'm saying, watching this maybe on YouTube or different things, you know what I mean, around the world.
Yeah.
And I hope that, you know, we're going to have the clips, I guess, next. We'll get to see the actual, some of the archives as well.
That's right. That's right.
William&Mary. It'd be nice to see and kind of experience other people. I don't know how far back your archives go now.
For hip hop?
Yeah, as far as the people here. I know you said DJ Dynamite was like what year?
In terms of what he was talking about, like 84.
Back to 84.
So right. So now you've got the record.
Yeah. So 84 is you could see what happened around 84, 85. Like I was telling you, like cats from up top was coming in. You know, from DC, New York. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, BM crew came for us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's that was his history around the Richmond area. Like that's where he really first, where people coming in from outside. But he was like, oh, okay, what's going on?
Yeah, you know, and they came into our communities, and it was only certain ones that gravitated to it. And so that's what's you know, that's what I was saying. Even now, certain ones only gravitate to it. The ones that gravitate to it now are just mainly money. That's all they see. Money and sex. You know what I mean? And the girls, well, now they is transgendering and all this other stuff. So I don't know what's going on with the family. We're gonna end this day. We're right here in Richmond.
Thank you again, and also for everyone that listens to it, for everyone that's going to watch this. You know, keep your eyes and ears open. There'll be more.
Indeed. And check me out at mb3g.com. If not, let's see, mb3gee at Yahoo, and 434-401-6762. I guess my number may be still on one day.